While the Royal AM boss, MaMkhize, has exposed the salaries of her players, and this is because she has applied for an urgent court order where she is taking the PSL to court to declare her expulsion from the PSL unlawful.
And for me, anything that I do, I start with the salaries first. I start with people first before myself. So that's why I'm saying to you, I don't even want to entertain this.
South African club Royal AM's owner MaMkhize, who is popularly known as MaMkhize, has revealed players' salaries and a last-ditch stand against the PSL. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Royal AM boss, MaMkhize, has revealed her players' salaries to prove that they did indeed receive their salaries despite the club going into administration, which led to their expulsion from the Premier Soccer League, the PSL. Now, a little bit of a recap when it comes to this whole situation. The South African Revenue Services, SARS, seized control of a number of owner MaMkhize's assets in November of last year, including the football club Royal AM. This is due to her allegedly owing the taxman around 40 million rand. Now, in January of 2025, Royal AM's players went on strike and didn't return from the festive break after the non-payment of December salaries. That was what the reports came out at the time were stating. Their match against Chippa United on January the 11th was postponed, and the club was then provisionally suspended and their fixtures postponed. Now, around this particular time in January, MaMkhize as well as the club released a statement surrounding the matter of SARS and the unpaid December salary, saying, "We acknowledge the hardship this has caused and extend our heartfelt apologies to those impacted, including their families. The club's management team, led by our CEO and general manager, has been working diligently with the curator to secure the necessary permissions to release funds for salary payments. It has always been the ethos of Royal AM to prioritize the well-being of our personnel, and we remain dedicated to upholding that principle despite the current challenges."
And for me, anything that I do, I start with the salaries first.
Now, to avoid scoring an own goal, like and subscribe to RedLive. Now, the non-payment of salaries as well as financial sustainability of the club were some of the arguments that were used by the PSL when they eventually expelled the club after the SARS curator failed to find a buyer for the club.
Well, what we do know now is that the price tag for Royal AM has been revealed. The South African Revenue Services will be opening its bids from 15 million rand, that is 15 million rand, heavily discounted when you consider the fact that owner MaMkhize paid more than 3 times that to purchase the status of Bloemfontein Celtic.
Now, even though the club was reportedly being auctioned off bids starting at 15 million rands, the bidder that eventually got the winning bid pulled out at the very last second. Now, the bidder's reasons for pulling out, according to the reports, was that the PSL was reportedly not going to allow Royal AM to catch up the games that were suspended. So in essence, Royal AM was going to be relegated this season even if a buyer came through and bought the club. But getting back to MaMkhize's fight against the PSL over the expulsion of Royal AM, according to Sunday World, MaMkhize has applied for an urgent court order in the Johannesburg High Court to declare the expulsion unlawful. Now, with it, the businesswoman MaMkhize has attached proof of payment of salaries, which apparently came out of her own pocket after the team's 2.3 million rand PSL grant that they get every month was stopped. MaMkhize also alleges that SARS destabilized the day-to-day running of the team. Now, the reports provide proof of payment with the word salary reflecting as a reference on each and every transaction, which gives the amount of money the players were earning at the club. Now, all the players in the submission were paid on the 14th of February 2025 this year, and MaMkhize asked the court to hear the case on May the 20th, just before the league season comes to an end. So according to the proof of payments, which I would assume Sunday World has seen, defender Thabo Matlaba was the highest paid player on the team with a take home of 121,000 rands, while the player who is known as Mnguni S was the lowest paid with a net pay of 2,000 rands. Now, this huge disparity between the highest paid and the lowest paid did reignite the debate of the salaries in the PSL, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But taking a look at the salaries of other players, midfielder Kabelo Mahlasela was the second highest paid player with a net pay of 93,500 rand, followed by midfielder Shadrick Bubedi with a take home of 80,000 rands per month. The club's other midfielder, Jabulani Ngobeni, was the fourth highest paid with a net pay of over 68,000 rand. He is followed by left winger Ketuktula Ndlovu with a net pay of more than 59,900 rands, while midfielder Levi Mashiane and centre-back Lesego Manganyi take home 55,000 rands and 50,000 rands respectively. Those taking home below 50,000 rands include striker Matebang Sera with a take home of 48,400 rand, while goalkeeper Mondli Mputo took home 47,852 rands. Striker Mfundo Langa Tigazi took home 40,000 rands. Midfielder Mzandile Dlamini took home 40,000 rands, and Luyanda Mdunge 40,000 rands. Centre-back Mlungisi Skakane took home 30,000 rands. Midfielder Kulegani Shezi took home 28,500 rand, and centre-back Ayanda Gianni took home 21,000 rands. Those that got less than 20,000 rand include Pilani Kumalo with 16,000 rand, attacking midfielder Xolani Pewa with 16,000 rands, while attacking midfielder Xolani Vezi took home over 12,500 rand, while attacking midfielder Pilani Sitebe was paid about 10,300 rand. Now, the players that got paid less than 10,000 rand include goalkeeper Apile Ngobese with 7,916 rand. Then we've got Sbanga Zulu, who got about 6,900 rand. And midfielder Smiso Kumete got 4,950. And as I mentioned earlier, reportedly the lowest paid player who got 2,000 rand is Mnguni S. So the proof of payments are basically MaMkhize saying, take this, PSL. And before anyone gets into the comment section to ask, there are no reports of the number 10 of Royal AM, Andile Mpisane's salary. Perhaps he gets paid in new cars and new wives. So for now, that is the update. We will wait, I suppose, for any updates about whether or not this does go to court and what is the outcome of that. But as I mentioned, especially when it comes to the disparity between the highest paid player and the lowest paid player at the club, this sparked an age-old debate about player salaries in the PSL. So taking a look at some of the comments on social media, one user on X posted the following: 2,000, that's beyond disgraceful. I honestly hope she loses that case. How do you justify paying that amount? It's deeply disappointing and it's modern day exploitation. PSL was once ranked 5th richest league in the world. Let that sink in. She's one of the reason our league is a joke. The thing about getting your stats and facts from social media is that most likely than not, you'll end up with an egg on your face. The PSL was once ranked the 5th richest league in the world. The PSL was once ranked the 5th richest league in the world. I mean, if you're going to come out with a stat like that, at least give us the year. Which year was that? Was it 1900? But it can't be 1900 because the PSL was only inceptualized in 1996-97 season. Does this user even know that? But moving swiftly along, another user wrote, but Orlando Pirates players earn about the same listed, or is it because it's the chairman's team? Ah yes, another stat from social media. Another user wrote, you get what you negotiate. There's nothing fair and unfair here. If you get a club and they want you for 2K, you have an option to decline. Now I do agree with this user, what this user had to say. You do get what you negotiated for, but apart from that, do keep in mind that all teams have developmental players in their development teams, and those players generally earn less. And to give you an example, if a player was in the development team and showed some potential in the middle of the season, that player might get called up to the first team, and that particular player will be on the development team contract, which could be, I suppose in this case, 2,000 rands. But one would imagine if the player that has been called up on that lower wage has a good season, they will get a contract negotiation opportunity to bump up their salary. Another user wrote, that's how football clubs work, because you must remember they are rookies and they are veterans. You'll find the one earning 2K is an academy graduate who still plays under 21 B team. The one earning 121K is a proven star in the league with many accolades, etc. It's fair. That is what I was basically trying to explain earlier. Sometimes in the middle of the season, an academy graduate, an academy player who is in the B team might be called up to the first team. And just because you are being called up in the middle of the season doesn't mean that your salary immediately goes up. You'll negotiate that when time comes. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does seem that MaMkhize, aka MaMkhize, is not done with the PSL just yet. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to RedLive if you haven't, and binge watch my previous videos.